Hey, everybody. My name is Grant. I'm the co-living guy. I wanted to bring some encouragement for those of you who are in co-living, right? You're in a fantastic place, but whenever you get started, whenever you get going in something, right, you find out all of the things that you don't know yet, or we could put it a different way, you don't know how to be successful at yet. There's also another group of you. You might be somebody who's looking at getting involved in co-living. You've heard about how awesome it is. So many people getting involved, finding financial freedom, doing amazing things. I myself have been involved since the year 2000 was when I first got into co-living, and I want to encourage you as well. So for those of you that are looking to get involved, I want to encourage you that this industry is powerful. It is new, it is young, yet in a large way, it's very established. Over 300 million of institutional money, investment funds have already gone into this industry since 2012. This industry is almost, you could compare it to, say, Airbnb, right? Airbnb, right? Nobody knew about it, and then suddenly, boom, and all the people that had gotten in early, they had positioned themselves well. They were wildly successful, right? So I want to encourage you. It's similar to Airbnb. In economists call this a gold mine trend. A trend is like this powerful wave, this ocean wave, right? And a surfer, right? A surfer doesn't need to provide the powerful wave, right? The ocean does that. But a good surfer, all they do is they identify that wave. They get on their surfboard and they learn how to ride the wave, right? That's how you can make disproportionately large financial rewards. It's when you find this wave, what economists call a gold mine trend. So I want to encourage you that if you're thinking about getting into this, some best advice would be from me is to look at what kind of co-living do you want to get involved in? There's co-living that's transitional housing. This has been around for a long time. Transitional housing includes sober living houses, boarding houses, rooming houses, housing for low income people, right? There's also transitional housing as far as like student housing. The many abused women or crisis pregnancy housing. There's many types of transitional housing, even senior housing, right? Or hospice housing, these kind of things, assisted living housing. These are all transitional housing, meaning that they're not for the mainstream. And usually somebody is going to be there for a limited amount of time, right? They're in transition. Or you could look at, okay, there's co-living transitional housing, or there's co-living for mainstream co-living. Mainstream co-living is for people that you might fall into this category, right? I definitely fell into this category, but everybody from college professors to waitresses to HVAC technicians, just your typical renter is going to be in this category, right? They're going to move in because they want to, right? They're not being pressured in because they can't necessarily afford anything else, right? They want to move in because they would like to live with others, right? And they want to live in a respective people who respect and appreciate each other. They want to live in that kind of environment, right? And they would rather live there than live alone. So that's mainstream co-living. So when you're looking at getting started, my number one advice to you is to decide, do you want to be in transitional co-living, meaning that your houses are for these people who are in transitions, right? They're for a specific niche group of people in transition, or do you want to be in mainstream co-living? My other advice for you, if you are in co-living, you are probably having some difficulties, right? If you don't have difficulties, then I don't know. I guess either you are like the baby Jesus reborn, or you're telling fancy tales, right? A lot of us in the co-living space, I run into many people who are talking a really good game, right? Online to others, etc. But when I talk with them individually, right? They are having struggles. And I want to encourage you, struggles are not bad. They don't mean that you made the wrong decision to get into co-living, right? Struggles just show that you're figuring things out, right? Think about the struggles you had before and you figured those things out and those struggles aren't happening anymore, right? Actually, you're riding on the success of struggling through that thing. And now you're in the success in that area, but there's other areas that you're still struggling to know how to succeed in. And I have a very direct message for all of my homies in the co-living world, right? You are in an awesome market. For those of you who have gotten in it after me, which is most of you, the the co-living market, right, was powerful when the economy was really good. It was powerful, right? This didn't show up because the economy got bad. It showed up starting around 2003 because there were these shifts in the market. There were these shifts in how people wanted to live. They didn't want to live alone anymore, right? Affording your own place not only was sexy because people would rather put that money into travel, into experiences, all of that stuff, rather than pouring it into housing of living alone, right? But the other thing is people realize living alone makes you imbalanced, right? People who live with others in a healthy household environment, these are people with very higher than average emotional intelligence, right? These people have maturity that when people live alone, and sometimes it is good to live alone, but when you live alone for a long time, the typical human is going to get imbalanced. So I want to share with you, and I really want you to find encouragement if you're struggling in this, that you have entered a co-living industry, which is powerful. It was powerful before the economy got crappy a few years ago, right? Starting around COVID, and it's powerful when the economy is suffering, right? Co-living is awesome when the economy is awesome. It is awesome when the economy sucks. It's awesome no matter what the economy is doing. It is awesome, right? Co-living is a quickly advancing rental strategy. Additionally, there's a trend in legislation happening across the country. Pretty much every single jurisdiction from, a small town to the state level are looking at how do we free up co-living. They might not know the term co-living. They might use terms like increasing housing density, but basically co-living answers right now the problem of a shortage in housing, right? It takes a whole single family house and makes that available for 5 to 10 people, where before there would maybe only been 1, 2, or 3 people living there. So they're co-living's taking current inventory, right, and increasing the density and actually helping solve the housing shortage right now in real time. Anything else doesn't do that. Anything else is talking about the future, right? We're going to increase housing this way. This way, co-living increases housing right now. Also, co-living has been very encouraged. In 2023, the US Surgeon General came out and said that loneliness is an epidemic, right? And co-living speaks to that. And they encouraged things like co-living. Hey, live with others, right? This is one of the most important things you can do. It destroys loneliness. It is lethal to imposter syndrome and other things that mess with us psychologically, right? So I really want to encourage you. If you're in co-living, I want you to know a few things. You are in a powerful industry. Number two, marketing is a challenge, not because you're in a weak industry, because this is a powerful industry. It's the most quickly growing industry. You actually are providing the number one in demand lease. So if your marketing is struggling, one, you are in good company. My property management company and all of that stuff, I want you to know we do not struggle with marketing. We have a 97% lifetime average in of occupancy since 2017. 2017 is when I started investing. I started getting a property management company, all of that stuff. I spent the 17 years before that living in and being involved in co-living and its different looks, things like that. So we have a 97% lifetime occupancy average. And I don't want you to hear that and think, "Oh, I'm impressed." I want you to hear that and think, "Oh, if I'm having issues filling rooms, it's not because the demand isn't out there. It's because whatever my marketing is, it isn't reaching those who are looking for it, right? Because renters are looking for what you have to offer. So there's this bridge, right? There's what you have to offer, and there's the renters who are looking for exactly that, and there's this bridge in between the two. And this is a marketing issue, right? So if you're having troubles filling your rooms, right? This is not a matter of is there demand, right? Because there's massive demand, right? It's that there's this marketing issue. So how do you get what you're offering to the people that want to hear it, right? And there's a number of marketing tools that I've posted. And this demand is there. The demand is there, right? The people are there. They just don't know yet about what you're offering. So you got to figure out how to get that to them. So I really want to encourage you in that. If you're having issues with anything else, I could say tenant conflict, right? I could say figuring out how to manage maintenance requests. That's a little bit interesting when you have multiple independent adults living in one home, right? This is interesting. What I want to share with you is a quote I recently heard and immediately wholeheartedly agreed. The quote is, if you are interested in winning once, you will love goals. Or I think the quote actually said, you'll love goals if you're interested in winning once. You'll love systems if you're interested in continually winning. And this is what I would encourage you to do. My property management company has over 15,000 lines in its operating system, right? An SOP, right? A standard operating procedure. If this, then do that. Then this, then this, then this, right? It's very, very easy, right? You don't have to use your brain. You can use your brain to enjoy other things in solving new problems, right? But I want to encourage you, if you're having any issue, right? If it's tenant conflict, if it's marketing, filling rooms, right? If it's managing maintenance requests, if it's managing investors, if it's paying your property taxes on time, if it's keeping up a CRM, anything like this, I want to encourage you to fall in love with systems. Fall in love with systems. And you don't even have to know what a system is to fall in love with it, right? Fall in love with systems, get to know what systems are. I highly recommend Asana, ASANA.com. You can get a free Asana for one person. And this is going to help you make systems. It's a task management software, right? Project management software, so important, right? A lot of people think, oh, I've got my property management software, right? That does certain things, but you need a project management software. And when you have those two things together, amazing things happen. And you don't just win once, you continually win. So just not to turn into too much of a chatterbox, I want to encourage you, if you are looking at co-living, you are looking at an awesome thing. I went from renting a room with no savings, couldn't qualify for a house. I delivered Domino's pizza. 15 months later, I had financial freedom and a $2 million net worth. Why? Not because I'm unique or awesome or anything like that, but because co-living, the industry, is powerful, right? It's this gold mine trend. It's this powerful wave that you just get to learn how to surf, right? And then you can show off, right, to everybody. And if you are in it, if you are in the thick of co-living, maybe you've got your first 1, 2 houses, maybe you have 15 houses, right? And you're in the thick of it and you just keep butting your head up against a wall, right? How do I fill rooms? How do I handle tenant conflict? How do I do this? How do I do this? I want to encourage you, right? You will figure it out, right? Just don't give up, right? Keep trying things. The tools are out there. I can tell you 1,000% times 1,000% that co-living is successful. Our average renter stays a little over 2 years. Our average occupancy is 97%. And it was that way all the way through COVID. Actually, through COVID, that key like 6 months straight, we were at 100% occupancy the entire time. So to say you're in the right thing, you're going at it, all of my brothers and sisters in the investing in co-living space, I really want to encourage you, right? Let's lean on each other. Let's learn from each other. Let's blow the socks out of the investment, like the whole real estate investing world, right? Let's knock their socks off, right? Let's learn from each other. Let's get better. Let's make everything easier, faster, better, bigger, more awesome, more fulfilling. So that being said, I really hope you all are encouraged, right? Find encouragement. It's a key business skill, right? We don't just need sleep. We don't just need food or water. We also need encouragement. And I do have a training coming up with the Livingsmith team. We're going to do a free training coming up this week. I believe it's Wednesday. And so if you want to check that out, awesome. But be encouraged. Keep moving forward, right? This is awesome. Let's unleash the power of co-living.